Hello.
I was gonna do this bit for the intro no matter what, but then I actually went and it turns out they told me I have O positive blood. Who'd have thunk it?
I drink to that. If I drank, I'd crash a car. If I had to, you said we've all got a good reason to act.
I'm tuning to O positive as the last song off of Honest and Cunning, which means after I put this video up, I'll have done 2 whole EPs worth of songs, which is pretty sick. Whenever I post one of these videos, I feel like I'm collecting like those property cards in Monopoly. You know, they have like the name and like the color of like the section of property with them. That means I got a full Monopoly set of Fenton and Honest and Cunning now. That means I can finally do what I made the channel to do and build housing to price gouge the lower class for rent. So fun fact about O positive, this was the first Hot Mulligan song I ever heard. I actually was sent it by my roommate in like an Instagram post, and it was just some kid listing like Midwest band recommendations. I think the last band they recommended in that video was their own band, and I never actually listened to their band once, so I'm sorry about that. But they did introduce me to the #1 hot new band, so thank you for that. Bears in Trees. So naturally, since this song was the first one I ever heard, it holds a kind of special place to me. And I want to call out specifically an acoustic cover that is on YouTube somewhere that I found of this song. I'll like try to do the card thing if I can. If not, I'll just link it in the description. The grittiness and the whininess of Hot Mulligan's music is a big turnoff for a lot of people, and I totally get it. Like, I love that sound. I don't know why I love it, but it's absolutely fair when I show it to people and they don't like it. But that's part of why I really like when I find a softer, more palatable acoustic cover like this. I think stuff like this can give people who don't like the more whiny Midwest emo sound a chance to still enjoy the emotion and the lyrics and a lot of the beautiful songwriting that goes into these songs. And this cover in particular, I think does an awesome job at that. So I wanted to shout it out. That's enough intro though, song time.
I drink to that. If I drank, I'd crash a car. If I had to, you said we've all got a good reason to act today. So we go with our nature taken out in the graveyard where we first figured out maybe we won't be in love.
So the song opens its narrative describing what I read as a group of young adult friends who are disillusioned with the world. Some mid-20-something-year-olds still living in their hometown or nearby, working shitty day jobs and going to graveyards in the afternoon to drink. People who will drink to just about anything and will crash their cars. And the friend he's talking to says that each one of them has a good reason to end up dead. And that line could point to a couple different things. Maybe it's just a way of saying they've all got their own unique baggage and trauma that makes it hard for them to, you know, get through the day. Could also be that they're just sick of the trap that a lot of young adults in America find themselves in. One of working bad jobs for shit pay, being told the only way out of this late-stage capitalist hellhole is to put in your time and climb the corporate ladder. A corporate ladder that was thrown into a wood chipper by the people above you sometime between your parents buying their first house and you entering the workforce. An endless cycle of the rich. I'm gonna cut myself off because this song isn't really about the horrors of capitalism and the generational nihilism it instills in people. That comes later, don't worry. The point is they're, you know, that sort of apathetic, punky young adult friend group who go out to graveyards and drink around campfires. And he says that the graveyard they go to is the place where they first figured out maybe they won't be in love. Based on the rest of the song, I think this song is sung from the perspective of someone talking to their significant other, and specifically a significant other that they're in the process of losing. I mean, that line could have been written in some other way to get across the same narrative point. He could have easily said that they were breaking up in some way or that they were getting into a huge fight, but instead he says it's the place where they figured out that maybe they won't be in love. I think this is one of the best examples of Hot Mulligan's word choice doing way more of the emotional heavy lifting than the actual action of the lyric is doing. By saying that they maybe figured out, it kind of frames the idea of their breakup as something inevitable and unknowable. This wasn't something that was planned, intended, or expected, nor could it have been. They just kind of stumbled onto the conclusion that their relationship was always going to fail. Just like how they were born into a world where they were doomed to work shitty jobs and have to drink in the afternoons to cope, they started their relationship on a faulty foundation that was made by flawed people that made it doomed from the start. And the line, "we won't be in love," I think is another beautiful way to articulate their feelings. They're not going to be together anymore, sure, but the use of the future tense makes it feel like the impact of this breakup is less so in the moment what he's feeling and more so the letdown that he's going to experience for his future. It reminds me of the song "Buy a Fire Extinguisher Before You Need a Fire Extinguisher." When you're young kids or young adults in love, you fantasize about more than just the moment you're in. Sure, the love you feel right then and the company you give each other right then is wonderful, but the real prize, the real goal that you look forward to is being in love, is the future, staying in love. You meet someone as a kid and you feel like you found your perfect fairy tale love story. You meet someone as an adult and you think that maybe you're each other's ticket out of this existential dread you find yourself in. You aren't just in love, but you will be in love. It's a promise of happiness. So realizing that you're not only not in love right now, but you won't be in the future like you thought you would, makes it somehow even more devastating and even more crushing.
And I tried to be honest and cunning, but you were smoking with your best friends when I felt maybe it's time for me to leave. And I came back shortly after, get my wallet from the campfire. You handed it to me, oh, I didn't even kiss you. What the fuck did I do?
So here, I think we see the singer and his significant other coming to the realization they won't be in love. The singer says he tried to be honest and cunning. I talked about this a bit in the video on I Played Tony Hawk's Ride Once and It Sucked, but the idea of trying to be cunning when it comes to a relationship can feel almost malicious. To someone who's not great at navigating the dynamics of social interactions, or someone who's oblivious to the complicated factors at play in any dynamic, it can feel like you have to be cunning to be good at friendships. Cunning is literally defined as having or showing skill in achieving one's ends by deceit or evasion. And I think that's kind of an unfairly harsh description of the feeling the singer is referencing. Being aware of other people's emotions and trying to carefully sidestep and avoid any triggers they might have isn't an inherently bad thing at all. But the singer laments that he tried to be honest. And to me, that sounds like he's trying to be genuine and straightforward with himself and others, specifically his girlfriend in this case. But feels like in the process he ends up hurting himself and others by not like playing the game, so to speak. He wants to be honest and cunning, but he's failing at both. Whatever happened, whatever conflict went down at the campfire between him and his girlfriend, and however, all the friends were involved, doesn't really matter. He's saying that he feels like he made the wrong move in this social game that he's trying to figure out. It's related to the idea of previous songs in this EP, the idea that he's trying to figure out how to play this game and it seems like everyone else is a master at it, or like everyone else is playing an entirely different game. And when he feels dismissed and unwanted by his girlfriend, he leaves only to come back to the campfire to grab his wallet. And when that happens, he didn't even kiss her goodbye. It's a heart-wrenching way to put it, right? Like, they've been together and they've been happy for so long that it's an expectation that they would kiss each other goodbye. But now, with whatever happened, whatever misstep he took, they're at a point where they don't even do that anymore. And I think that moment of not kissing each other goodbye is when they both realize that they won't be in love. And after all that, on his second walk back from the campfire, his only thought is, what the fuck did I do? He's trying to be the perfect friend, and he's trying to be the perfect boyfriend. He's trying to be honest and cunning, but he just fucks it up every time. And he hates himself for it. And his self-hatred gets kind of magnified by his own confusion at the whole thing. It's not just that he messed up, but you could read it like he doesn't even know how he messed up. What the fuck did I do could be very literal. Where did I even go wrong? I don't understand what I did wrong. Why can't I understand what I did wrong?
I left you there, 'cause I had to. Couldn't pull the words from my head. We were just taking off when I hit the dead end. Then I lost it, hit the pavement, gliding where someone else's arrow still pulling busted glass from my hands.
Now they're leaving the graveyard, right? He left her at the campfire with her friends because he had to. He feels like he's out of options, he's in over his head, and it's the only move left. He says he couldn't pull the words from my head. I love this line because I find it pretty relatable. I have a really hard time putting my thoughts and feelings into words in the moment. Some people are just better at it than others, but it's such an infuriating and trapped feeling to know exactly what you want to convey and exactly what you're feeling, but not be able to spit it out in any intelligible way in an emotional moment. And I think the singer is talking about a very similar feeling here. He wants to be honest. He wants to get people to be able to fully understand what he feels and where he's at so that when he fucks up, they can understand a little bit more, but when the time comes, he just can't pull the words from his head. And the idea of being left in the dust by his more socially gifted friends and girlfriend is visualized by this idea of him driving away, crashing his car, and being thrown out of it. He's lying on the pavement, pulling glass from his bloodied hands while his friends and his girlfriend drive away. And now I think the story of the song ends with the singer lying there on the pavement, looking back over everything that's happened, over his emotions and actions and other people's actions, and trying to find the impetus behind everything. He starts it with that line that he left the chorus off with, "What the fuck did I do?" As he looks back on his own mistakes with the clarity of hindsight, he's questioning each decision that he made. Why did he leave the girl at the campfire? Why didn't he fight for what he had? Because he felt like he had to, like it was the only move left to make. Why did he call her back? Why did he sleep with her? Because he had to. These two lines are a little harder to pin down, but I think you can read them a couple different ways. Maybe he's just saying that he moved faster than he would have honestly wanted to because that's what he felt was expected of him. He was sort of pressured into it. I think more interestingly though, it could be read as him acknowledging that he never really wanted to be with this girl. Maybe this was his first relationship and he just threw himself into it because, you know, the excitement of the moment and of young love. Maybe he was trying to convince himself that this person was his soulmate, someone that he would be in love with for the rest of his life, even if he knew deep down they weren't right for each other. I mean, look at the next line right after this. I told the truth because I had to. Maybe he was deceiving himself this whole time, acting like he loved this person in the way that he wanted to or was pretending to. He wasn't being honest to himself or to her. And now that he's finally told the truth, to himself, yes, but maybe even to her at the campfire. Maybe that's what the whole conflict was. And he did it because he had to. Not because of any social game or expectations, but because he knew that ripping that band-aid off was the only way to move on. I think that's just me looking way too deeply into these two lines, but I like the idea that there's also some self-deception involved in whatever conflict caused these two to fall apart. Then he transitions over to the refrain, "You left me there because you had to." So after all this, after the relationship is ruined beyond repair, and after they don't kiss at the campfire, and after looking back over everything that's happened that's led him to this place where he's lying on the social pavement with bloodied hands, she drives away and she leaves him, and he knows it's because she has to. Whether she wants to or not, whether they could have worked things out, the hole has been dug too deep. The game has gone on too long and there's no turning it around. So lying there, he thinks back one more time over all the confusion and the contradictions and the mistakes, and he yells, "What the fuck did I do?" And just like the singer, by the end of the song, we're not left with any real clarification on what he did do or what it really means. He could still very well be screaming it rhetorically and self-degradingly. What the fuck did I do? Like, how did I do something so dumb, insensitive, and careless to hurt myself and the people that I claim to care about? Do I really need the crutch of hindsight to see how awful my actions are? Or he could still be yelling it out of desperation. What the fuck did I do? Like, I know that I messed up, but someone please tell me. I'm so horribly bad at this shit that I genuinely don't even know, and I hate it. I think I'm Tuning to O Positive is another really, really well-crafted closer for this EP. I don't think it's quite as narratively on point as Visited Salmon was for Fenton, but I would argue that it might be thematically more on point. Because Honest and Cunning's themes of navigating relationships and interpersonal interactions are a bit more vague than the kind of grounded, small-town childhood experiences of Fenton. So it only makes sense that O Positive wouldn't tie as neat and tidy of a bow on top of the whole thing. I mean, even the title Honest and Cunning is an oxymoron of sorts, right? This song and this whole EP feels, at least to me, like a conflict between wanting to be yourself and be genuine to others, but also not wanting to cause anyone inadvertent pain. This is me projecting here a bit, I'm sure, but it can feel like there's an inherent contradiction between being straightforward and upfront with the people you care about, and being adept at the fragile social dance that comes with relationships and friendships. Why does it feel like I have to keep secrets and tread carefully sometimes, even with the people that I'm closest with? Can I be authentic to others and cleverly conscientious of others at the same time? I think this whole EP is a dig at oneself's inability to come to terms with that contradiction. The struggle to relate to someone in a truthful and in a skillful way. To be both honest and cunning. Also, I'm moving. I'll find a new place to record, but say goodbye to the roof forever.